it feels a little bit like a sci-fi horror film, just, the beginning part of it.
And I think that right now we're not really worried about this moment, but we're worried about the next 6 to 8 weeks.
It can hit you really hard that this is gonna last a really long time. People are dying.
How are we gonna survive financially? How are the people that we know going to survive financially? Are our family members going to be safe? Once you start thinking about the future, that's when you start to get really, really scared, I think.
As coronavirus spreads, cities around the world have been shutting down, including LGBT+ pubs, clubs and bars. In response, some drag queens have taken their acts online, streaming live on apps like Instagram Live, Twitch and StageIt for fans stuck indoors. We gave them a call to hear more.
Yeah, it definitely was hard, and it definitely is continually a struggle. I literally, for the first time in my drag career, which has been over 12 years, don't have any gigs for the foreseeable future at all.
All of my income comes from the shows that I perform in. Basically, everything just vanished. When all the gigs disappeared, I just very quickly shifted my focus and said, okay, so we're gonna do this all online now instead.
Well, as far as financially, I think we're all figuring it out.
Yeah, before coronavirus hit, I was in a different city every other day. Every time we go to a different place, we get out of the plane, I get in drag, we go see the town, we go meet fans, then we go do a show, we get the applause, we sleep, a well-deserved sleep in a nice bed. That's happiness. And so when you look at an empty calendar, you're not just looking at an empty wallet. You're looking at an empty life, and it's really heartbreaking. One of the most powerful things that I know about drag is that it can make people feel better for a few minutes. But now this is the big experiment, Is it the same thing to see a drag queen via, StageIt or Twitch or Instagram Live? It's the same thing. I'm hoping that we figure out a way to reach out to each other digitally, and that's what we're trying to see if we can do.
So there are these moments where I hit a high note, or I'm belting my heart out and sustaining a note, and I see the hearts just go crazy. And I'm just accepting that as the applause and the laughter now, Luckily, streaming platforms have thought about all of this and given us alternatives.
We're seeing drag queens be really innovative. You're not limited to being on a stage. Props can just sort of appear from out of nowhere, oh my gosh, who knew this was here? Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. And then it disappears. Every single bar closed down has really been a hit to the community. We live in a society where often we're kicked around a little bit, and so having a bar and a safe place to go to where we feel seen and where we can feel like we can be ourselves and express ourselves freely, that's it's so vitally important.
There may be teenage queer people stuck at home with their unsupportive families, or there may be people who only get to dress as the way they feel and dress and express themselves the way that's true for them. They may only get that kind of freedom at gay bars and community centers and stuff, and maybe that's been taken away from them.
It's why we're seeing so much content exploding online right now, is because people really need it and people really want it. It's a relief, and it's something that's real, and it's something that connects people in this time of great disconnection.
I'm looking at the positives, which are I'm being challenged as an artist. I'm being challenged as a as a human being right now.
Resilience is a huge part of our community, and it's why we have pride parades every year, because we have had to fight for a very long time to be visible and to be seen and to be heard.
And I think it's going to be everyone's job right now to say, listen, I don't want to just survive this, I want to thrive during this time. There's no choice. I'm just going to thrive.
Drag queens will get tipped whether it's the apocalypse or not.
It's also important to take some time to remember what it feels like to laugh and be happy. You know?